important we pay attention to this because, the main aim of actually going through and observing the World Stroke Day is to emphasize the serious nature and high rates of stroke, not just in Nigeria but world over. As far back as 2010, the World Stroke Organization declared stroke a public health emergency to curb the trending mortality and disability due to the lack of awareness and proper accessibility of diagnosis and treatment for everyone. So it is important we talk about this. However, we'll not be having any guests. Unfortunately, my guest cancelled last minute. Like I said, it's World Stroke Day and they have a road walk. So as I speak with you right now, they're outside, in town, going around, sensitizing people, doing a road show and telling them about stroke. And so myself and Best Beauty will be focusing on stroke and its effects on the mental health of patients. People who suffer from stroke, even right after they recover, do they remain the same mentally? And then we are humans. The moment you start to see those signs and symptoms, the moment you start to realize that something is actually going wrong with your body, a lot of things happen to you mentally. Okay, so the aim of today's conversation is to raise more awareness on stroke and the need for timely intervention so that when a person, comes down with stroke, they will know, people around him or her would know exactly what to do. Like the doctors will always say, timely intervention as regards stroke is key in making sure that that person doesn't come down with a permanent disability. Are you aware? So if that person, the signs start to crop up on time and it's noticed early enough, it's very, very possible that, yes, something can still be done for that person the moment you rush him or her to the hospital. But a lot of people don't even know the signs to look out for. So we'll talk about that. And then we'll also emphasize a little on the theme for this year's observance. And yes, talk about the effects that stroke can have on the mental health of patients. We also recognize every stroke survivor. So if you've at some point in your life come down with partial stroke, come down with any form of stroke at all, we recognize you and want to say that you're really doing good. Keep up the good work with yourself, with your body. Don't ever give up, because the moment you give up, yes, I feel that's going to be the end. Okay, so the theme for this year's World Stroke Day is every minute counts. Every second counts. All right, so it highlights the urgent need to recognize stroke symptoms quickly and act immediately because, like they say, timely treatment can significantly improve recovery and reduce disability. So please let us learn to act fast and know when to call the emergency lines. Unfortunately, we are in Nigeria, no emergency lines to call. So the moment you see any of those signs, we'll tell you those signs to look out for. Please rush to the hospital as fast as you can. Okay, so I also have the statistics, and it says that globally, stroke remains a leading cause of death and disability, with more than 10 million new stroke cases reported almost every year, adding up to the 100 million people living with stroke, almost annually. So the thing is, the numbers keep going up. There's a surge in the number of people or number of cases of people living with stroke, and it's the second. There's one statistics I saw, and they said that stroke was second. Okay, stroke is second to ischemic heart disease, which can cause death and disability. Okay, so what do you have from your end, Best?
Okay, so talking about stroke and mental health, we can say that stroke, it can have a significant impact on the patient's mental health because their physical attributes, they're no longer able to move, talk, or act the way they usually do. So it can lead to some significant or possible effects. It diversifies from person to person. So some people might have this, some people might not have this. Number one, the most common one is PSD or depression. Simply put, depression. So stroke patients are at a high risk of developing depression, which can be caused by the physical changes in the brain, emotional response to the event, or a combination of both. Because when stroke happens, something happens in their brain also. So everything changes in their body. Anxiety. Anxiety is common among stroke patients, often triggered by concerns about recovery, fear of another stroke, or changes in lifestyle. This might happen during the recovery phase, when they're now feeling that, oh, I might have stroke again. This might come again. It's also something that happens a lot even in cancer patients. It's like, oh, okay, this might come back. So those kind of feelings of anxiety might come up. Another one, cognitive changes. Stroke can lead to cognitive impairment such as memory loss, difficulty with problem solving, or changes in judgment. They are not the same way they were. The decisions they are making, some people with stroke, you see them, they're acting in a different way, acting in a different manner. So that is also the brain work I was talking about earlier, that a part of your brain will go through physical change. Another one is emotional lability. Some stroke patients experience emotional lability characterized by sudden intense mood swings. Number 5, personality changes. Stroke can cause changes in personality, such as increased irritability or apathy. Most stroke patients, if you talk to them one-on-one, they'll feel like, oh, they don't want to feel pity because, they can't move the way they move. Maybe normally they could carry this thing, but because now maybe if they have partial stroke or full stroke, they can't carry the things they usually carry. And there's this feeling of apathy for everybody around them, like, oh, everybody can do what I used to do. So their personality, which some of them, like I said, this differs from person to person. Some people's personality might change drastically and they might become irritable to be around. You just be around, they are very, very irritable. Another one is post-stroke fatigue. Fatigue is a common complaint among stroke patients, which can impact mental health and overall quality of life. Now, something we should also note is that because of stroke, one major thing that might happen in these their changes is loss of independence. A stroke patient may experience loss of independence, leading to feelings of frustration, anxiety, or depression, because they are no longer independent on their own. They need somebody's help.
Okay. All right, to add to that, before we open up the phone lines this morning, psychosocial factors are also there, and it has to do with the trauma that comes with stroke. Patients who suffer from stroke always have this kind of trauma that comes with it. Why? The stress of rehabilitation after a stroke is no child's play. Have you seen someone that has suffered a stroke before? It seems more like some part of the body. I know of someone who had partial stroke at some point in his life, and though he has recovered, but it took a while. He had to go for rehabilitation, and that part of his body was stiff. When I mean stiff, it's just like you getting a cement block. You know how hard it is, and then you're trying to now soften it. That is how difficult it can be. So for them, they go through a lot of trauma, especially during rehabilitation. That is why even before and after the rehabilitation process, the psychiatrists will have to talk to them. The doctors will have to talk to them to let them know that it's not going to be an easy process. We're talking about months of an undergoing rehabilitation. Do you know how difficult that can be? And that is why every stroke survivor, every stroke patient needs the support that they can get. Okay. And also, another thing that comes with the trauma has to do with challenges of adapting to a new norm. All of a sudden, you wake up and you realize that you cannot move one part of your body. How is that going to... In fact, you will feel so embarrassed. Some people go as far as peeing on their body. They bed wet, they poop on their bodies because they maybe at that point, they're unable to move around. Maybe at that point, they don't even have people who can take care of them. They don't have maybe children, they don't have caregivers who are around to take them from one point to the other, and they mess up their bodies. And then they now realize, oh, is this what I have turned out to become? That is the most embarrassing thing that can happen to anybody. So it causes trauma at that stage. And if not well handled, they come down with depression, anxiety, and so on and so forth. Fear of reoccurrence. Many of these stroke survivors experience, like I said, anxiety due to the fear of coming down with another stroke. Even after rehabilitation, they start to ask themselves, what if this happens again? Somebody I know shared a story of how all of a sudden stroke came up. Now he was hypertensive. He was placed on drugs. And then somehow he said that that week he was not consistent with taking the drugs. He didn't have the money to get the drugs. And all of a sudden he was in the bathroom bathing one day. Family members had gone to work. He was off duty that day and stroke came. He said he couldn't move his one part of his body. He was bathing actually. All of a sudden, that part of his body got paralyzed. He noticed that his mouth moved to one side. I don't know how best, these things are better explained visually, but I'm trying to create this visuals in your head so you understand. His lips moved to one corner. Like, I don't know how I'm going to describe this. And then he said he couldn't move. He couldn't shout. He couldn't scream. He was just fixated at one spot. But what saved him that day was that his phone was very close to him. He kept on dialing the wife's number. He dialed the first time. She picked up the call. She was like, hello, hello. He couldn't talk. He was just mute. And then after a while, the wife sensed that something was wrong and she had to rush back to the house. And that was how he was rushed to the hospital. What if he was not rushed to the hospital at that exact time? Maybe he wouldn't have been working today. So timely intervention on the part of the wife was what saved him. Because when he got to the hospital, there was immediate action, and yes, he only came down with partial stroke and it didn't affect the other part of his body. So what we are saying today is timely intervention is key. We'll still go ahead to tell you more about the impact of stroke on mental health, and then we'll also tell you about the signs to look out for, the causes of stroke, and the myths. A lot of people feel that stroke is something that is sent from the village. Once you provoke your village people, they send you stroke. That is a myth. I know I have had the privilege of interviewing some doctors, and they debunked that myth and they say it's not true. They dispel the myth and they say it is not true. Stroke happens due to a lot of factors, and those factors will be made known before the end of the program. We are live on Facebook at Echo FM, ECHOFM. Go right now to Facebook and YouTube as well, Echo FM. Like, share, and drop your comments. And yes, there's also a link attached to our Facebook page. When you go there, click on that link and see how you can also get connected to the new page that we created recently. All right, so we'll open up the phone lines for you to be a part of our conversation.
You can call us via 0911 20022, 0911 20022, or 0707 454 1014, 0707 454 1014. Send us a message on WhatsApp via 0707 4913438.
Okay, let's see what this person has to say. Good morning to you. Good morning. Are you there?
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. What's your name, please?
My name is Emmanuel.
Okay, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Imo State.
Where exactly in Imo?
Owerri precisely.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. Yesterday you sent me a message saying it has been long ago. So I'm trying to know who sent.
Marshall, how are you doing?
I tried to know who sent the message. You just end the call.
Hey, this is getting more confusing. Okay, don't worry. We'll have a conversation after the program. But before then, please, let's hear what you have to say about the topic for today, please.
All right.
Okay, and he's gone. He just called in to hear our voices. Is all good?
Hello, good morning. What's the name and where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning, the Slim Giver.
Kachisin, you're welcome. Good morning.
Yes. How was your trip?
Very well, thank you. How have you been?
Yeah, we have been on the lookout.
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, good morning, Best Beauty.
Good morning, Mr. Katchison.
Yeah, thank you. I'm hoping that I will see the beauty in you. Yes.
Just go to Facebook. You see the beauty in her. Go to Facebook. She's live. We are live.
Okay, I'll do that. after this call.
But when it's time for wine carrying, you have to cross through. You know now. You know what I'm saying.
Of course.
Go
But I have
ahead.
to start from one.
Eh?
I mean, you have to start from one before you get to two.
Okay, I'm
So
not
the
going
one
to
is
put my
seeing her
mouth.
first. The one is seeing her first.
Don't worry. All
Yeah,
right.
but before that, Ure must be involved.
Hmm.
Yes, because,
Can we go ahead? You see, this talk is a talk for another day.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Catchison, Ekuha. I am calling from my community, Avo, in the West local government.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, as always, I will always thank you for always bringing topical issues on board.
Yeah.
Now, this issue of stroke has been a very serious issue in the like in our lifestyle. Now, but in recent times, you find out that before now, when we were quite younger, we used to presume that stroke is happens to people who are of age. But in recent times, you find out that even people of my age equally have stroke. I know of my classmates while we are in university that passed through stroke, but thank God he recovered from it. So, in fact, I had wished you invited a medical practitioner here. I would have asked more questions. So, but if you can answer, is there any particular age that one can attain before he or she can get stroke? That is one. So, number two question is, which is the best way to treat stroke?
Okay.
Is it the English way, which is going to hospital, or going the traditional way, which is best for the treatment? These are my questions.
Okay.
That is Sinekwa from out.
Okay, thank you so much, Kachisin, for your call this morning. Just give me a few minutes and we'll respond to your question.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Umoba Orata. Understand? I've been calling this line to inform you guys. I know that Barry Cosmos was anchoring a program against Toronto Intraco saga.
Yes.
As an eyewitness now, the program was anchored this morning. I want you guys to come to Toronto as a journalist to investigate this issue. Do you know that this morning now, government sent troop of armies and around us Toronto RZ with their excavator try to demolish all stores in that place. What we are talking about, some people call the Toronto market. That place is not major market, not a market.
Okay.
It's for local stores.
Okay, you know what?
As I'm talking to you now, two people, my village guys, two people was shocked.
I understand. Just take it easy, please. Take it easy, okay? We hear you and we understand what you're saying. I wouldn't want to tell you about the strategies that Echo FM has put in place. That will be me exposing what we want to do. Don't worry. Don't just take it easy. I'm trying to say something. I'm trying to pass on a message. If it's about going to cover and know what is going on, yes, our men are on ground as we speak. So don't worry. We'll get to the root of this matter and we'll still come back here to inform everybody. Thank you very much for your concern. All right, more of your calls, please. 0911 20022 0707 454 1014. We are talking about stroke and its impact, its effect on the mental health of stroke patients.
Okay, right.
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you know it's on the line, or do you know it's calling?
No, sir, we do not.
Slindy, but I don't know it's calling you.
Okay, Now Best said she doesn't know, but I know your voice sounds familiar. Unfortunately, we cannot see your number. We hear a lot of voices.
No, you can't see my number by the voice. Now this engineer Mike.
Okay, Mike E, pardon me, okay? No vex.
Problem. May your days belong.
Amen, and your days belong as well. Good morning, Mike E. Hope you're doing great.
Yeah, good morning. Yes, I'm good. For me to hear your golden voice, when you want to get a golden voice, just come to the echo. You get a golden voice.
Hello, welcome. Go ahead.
Yes. So what I want to ask two questions on one.
Yes, please.
Yeah, what you people discussing this morning? Yeah, it's a welcome development. I love that. This is about stroke. You see, somebody will just sleep and wake up. Then somebody say, hey, this person have developed a stroke. Are you getting me? Hmm? That is number one. So, what causes it? You see somebody maybe today now, and the person will sleep. The next day, say this person have developed a stroke. That is one. Secondly, what can cause stroke? If you see somebody healthy, the person will just develop a stroke.
Okay.
That is my question. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much for your question. What can cause stroke? Yes, so you see someone who's healthy now, and in the next few minutes or few seconds, you hear that the person has developed stroke. We'll also answer that as well. Keep your calls coming in 0911 20022, or you call 0707 454 1014. Let's see if this is going to connect.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning, Mary, for many a day.
Elder Matthew, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Very well. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much. I want to ask a simple question. Though, what bothers me is that you said your doctor is not around today because they have roadwork. But you as a researcher, the extent you have had, you just give me the answer if you are able.
Okay.
Yeah. At what age can one begin to experience what is called stroke?
Okay.
I think that's my question.
All right. Thank you so much for your call this morning. And yes, I like the fact that you said, I already announced it when we came here, that the doctor is unavoidably absent, but we're going to do the best that we can, as we have always done, based on research. Your question will be attended to in few seconds.
Hello, good morning. Could you please move away from your radio set? Thank you very much. We can barely hear you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, this is Emma Ezeka Oba, popularly known as Overtaker. I am calling from Obak.
Overtaker, please don't overtake us this morning, Biko.
That is why I am born, to overtake you.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In as much as we are trying to make sure that people drop their superstitious belief about stroke, that does not rule out the spiritual aspect of it, my sister.
Go ahead.
I am old enough to tell you this. I'm a certified medical microbiologist.
Okay.
Yes, listen to me. We know the causes of all this stroke and the rest of them. Diseases are medical, but don't rule out those ones that the villagers do. It is still there, my sister.
Okay.
I've been in a program where somebody was brought with stroke. And right in that program, somebody that has been on stroke for more than 3 months, he rose up and started dancing and started walking. How can you explain that?
Okay, so that is you sharing a testimony, and yes, I'm sorry, I would have to let you go. It is a little bit off what we are talking about, and I wouldn't want that to generate some more problems for us, okay? Thank you very much for that call. Yes, your opinion is valid. No arguments. Your opinion is valid. You are entitled to your opinion. However, we are trying to talk about the medical aspect, okay? Whatever you believe in, I cannot take that away from you. But I know that I have heard doctors say this a lot, that stroke can be caused by a lot of things. Like I said, we'll tell you about the causes before the end of the program. Thank you for your call this morning.
Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. Slim Diva for all people.
Good morning to you. What's your name?
My name is Gosu, aka The Willie Show. I'm calling from Iriti.
God's will for all people. Welcome.
Yes, I'm calling from Iriti.
Go ahead.
So, according to what you guys are saying, you are talking about some stroke being responsible for depression. So, does it now mean that anybody who constantly gets depressed has a symptom of stroke?
No, you're mixing it up. You are mixing it up. That's not what we said. Do not misquote us, please. We only stated that people who have stroke or people who are in the recovery process, those who are undergoing rehabilitation, can get depressed because of the tedious nature of getting rehabilitated. And then they can come down with depression. That's what we said. We didn't say that everyone who has stroke.
I think I misunderstood it.
Please don't misunderstand, okay? Thank you so much for your call. Okay, yeah, keep your messages coming in on Facebook at Echo FM ECHOFM. Go right now, like, share, and drop your comments now. So they said, according to research, actually your risk of having a stroke increases with age. It increases with age. And then they've said that fewer than 40% of people hospitalized because of stroke are younger than 65. That is according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So overall, the risk of a stroke appears to increase most after the age of 60. That doesn't mean that people below 60 cannot come down with a stroke. And then it says that stroke that occur in people between 30 years to 74 years are more often occur in men. And stroke that occur in those between 75 and older more often occur in the women. I don't know why this is so, but I feel that maybe next week I'll try as much as I can to get a neurologist or a neurosurgeon who will help us understand why there is a pattern. That means there is a prevalence in stroke as women get older. That is what I can see from this research. And also it is said that there's one particular point I'm looking for, and I wanted to read it out. And it says that stroke is a medical emergency that can happen at any age, but the risk increases as you get older. So does that answer your question, Kachisin and Elder Matthew? It can happen in any age. However, the risk increases due to several risk factors, which I'll be telling you. One of them is hypertension, but I'm going to read out the others. And then it increases as you also age. Now, research shows that while stroke in adults share similar symptoms, stroke in infants and children can present with different signs, such as seizures or when it starts to affect one part of the body. So somehow, research has shown that even children or the younger people can also come down with stroke. So it's not just the elderly. I hope that answers your question. But I want to assure you that next week, in order for us to get more medical analysis, I'll get someone who will do justice to these questions, because I know that people are concerned. They want to find out. We all believe in this part of the world that stroke only happens in the elderly. That is only the older people that come down with stroke. But you've heard it this morning that even the younger ones can be affected by stroke as well. Okay, do we have messages on Facebook? Yes, we have some messages on Facebook. Best Beauty, you might want to take that, please.
Okay, Rumark says, good morning, radio presenter online. NDA Anthony Kwegbu from Naze 1, Naze Mana Time. I just want to greet you people. Thank you so much. Onyeka Onyemegu says, good morning to you there. She is so beautiful. No wonder they call her Best Beauty. I think I like her.
Okay. Any other one? You're going to fight with Kachisin. Now, Kachisin says he also likes Best Beauty. Okay.
Okwegu still sent a message via WhatsApp. We see you, Mr. Okwegu.
All right. Thank you very much. So, quickly, let me just do a general overview for the benefit of people who just joined us. Stroke is a medical emergency that happens when something prevents your brain from getting enough blood flow. And then when there's a blocked blood vessel or there is bleeding in the brain, it can cause stroke. So there are a lot of names that are used to also describe stroke. According to healthcare providers, they call it cerebrovascular accidents, which is known as CVAs. They also call it brain attacks. And yes, there are a lot of names. But I want to talk about the causes, because someone also asked, I think it was Mike E, who asked me the cause, what exactly causes stroke. I want you to know that number one on the list is known as, this name, pardon me, atherosclerosis. It is known as hardened arteries. When your arteries are hardened, that can cause stroke. There's also this one that says for people who have clotting disorders, blood clot disorders, they can come down with stroke. For people who also have heart defects, there are a lot of names here: ventricular septal defect, atrial septal defect, and so on and so forth. I don't want to bore you with all of those names. However, other causes can include brain tumors, high blood pressure, which is the most common for me because almost everyone I know that has had a stroke at some point in their lifetime had high blood pressure. Yes, so high blood pressure, especially if it is very high or you have had it for a long time without even knowing, unfortunately, it can affect you and you come down with stroke. That's why we tell people all the time, don't wait until something bad happens to you. Go check your BP. It's very easy now. You can go, even walk into a pharmacy now and check your blood pressure. You can even check it in the comfort of your home. We have the digital, what they call that thing again? Oh God, I can't remember the name. But it's everywhere and it's easily affordable, okay? So, these are the things that can actually cause a stroke. It's not just village people. You are entitled to your own belief.
True.
But yeah, you know that someone called in, Overtaker called in to say that we should not rule it out that people can actually send stroke. Well, it's your belief. We're not going to take that away from you. Okay, so I hope you have heard, Mike E. You have heard what exactly causes stroke. And then for the risk factors for stroke, anybody can have a stroke like we said, but some people are at a higher risk. People who are older than 65 years, people who smoke, who use tobacco, who takes all forms of tobacco, including nicotine and anything that has to do with tobacco or vaping. Yes. And then people who use recreational or non-prescribed drugs can come down with stroke. People who have certain health conditions, yes, it can also increase your risk of coming down with stroke. Alcohol use disorder, frequent migraine headaches. It's what the research is saying. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. These are all the things that can predispose you to coming down with a stroke. Okay, so but can it be treated? That we'll also find out before the end of the program. All right, 0911 20022 0707 454 1014. Call us right now and let's hear what you have to say based on the topic.
Hello, good morning. What's the name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Chemaka. I'm calling from Dekede.
Okay, go ahead, Chiamaka.
Okay, I want to add a little thing about this stroke topic that you're discussing this morning.
Okay.
My both parents had stroke. Their stroke was caused by different things. My father's stroke was caused by diabetes and complications from it.
Okay.
Whereas my mother's stroke was caused by high blood pressure and all that. Yes, I believe stroke can be treated medically, yes. Though we lost our father, but our mother is a survivor of stroke.
Oh no.
She is also going through what they call physiotherapy to help her, to help the muscles, to strengthen again. You know, they will pass her through some exercises, use some machines to massage her body and a whole lot of things. They will tell her some of the things she should be doing at home. And again, a stroke patient really needs care. They really need care, like they need care, maybe help them in one or two things, talk to them about their mental health, and they should take it easy with the way they now carry themselves, because it's not really easy for them. The things you can do before, you can no longer do them. And as a human being, they will feel the burden. So you that is by their side, you should just try to help them, speak to them, do the things you can do, things that can make that stroke to occur again. Maybe them not taking their medications or not going for physiotherapy and all that. You try as much as possible to limit it so that they don't get to have a second attack of it. Because according to the doctors, they said the second time a stroke is coming back, it is usually deadlier and the
And the
first
first one.
Oh no.
one. So
Oh,
that's
no.
what I want.
I
to
want
ask.
quickly.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Chiamaka. Before you go, I just wanted to ask. Okay, your mom is a survivor. At some point, was she depressed?
I wouldn't say she's depressed because we took it upon ourselves to be there. But I think my father was.
Okay.
Maybe because, men, they like to keep so many things to themselves.
Yes.
Yes. So I think my father was at some point, but we didn't get to understand this earlier.
Okay.
But my
Thank
mom,
you.
she's not
Thank
depressed
you.
over
Thank
it.
you so much, Yamaka, for sharing your experience with us. We appreciate you this morning. You heard what she said. Both parents had stroke. The father has stroke. The mother is a survivor. Unfortunately, they lost their dad. And she says diabetes and hypertension are the ailments that actually cause stroke in her parents. So you have heard it from someone who has called in to share her experience. Okay, one last call for now before we go back to the conversation.
Hello, good morning. What's your name?
I say a big no to that Catechism's claim. Please, Catechism, take your time. Good morning, my best beauty.
Good morning, Mr. Eze.
Good morning, anti-sly giver.
Slim Diva, please.
I know. That is the sly gift to the nomenclature I used to. Please,
okay.
I want to ask.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the secret things you are doing against me. I want to ask a question, please. Can someone who is already paralyzed suffer stroke?
Can someone
And
what?
who is already paralyzed, can such a person suffer stroke?
Okay.
And again, you mentioned nicotine. Please, is this Nescafe included?
Okay, thank you for your question. Now, I'm very sure that I don't want to mention a brand name, but coffee itself contains caffeine. And then nicotine is present in a lot of things that we take in. For people who vape, I don't know how best to describe it. They go to clubs, they take shisha, they start to inhale, what's it called, vapor.
Yes.
Some of those things have nicotine in them. And I'm not too sure if I know bitter cola. Is it? Oh God, I would have to still dig deep. But I know that one of the forms of bitter cola or one of the forms of cola nuts has got
caffeine.
nicotine. No, nicotine. Is it nicotine or caffeine?
I think it's
My
caffeine.
head is just banging right now. Okay, don't worry. I'll answer your question before the end of the show. But research has shown that excessive intake of nicotine can also predispose you. Even smoking, tobacco, can bring you down or predispose you to coming down with stroke. Okay, so to recognize the warning signs of stroke, there are a lot of things you have to look out for. A lot of things. But first of all, let me tell you about the signs. Confusion. The person will be confused at that point. There is coma. If nothing is done, almost immediately the person can go into coma. Dizziness, headaches that can be very, very severe. Loss of coordination, clumsiness, memory loss, mood swings, neck stiffness, nausea, vomiting, passing out, fainting, seizures, slurred speech, weakness or paralysis on one part of the face or body, and then sudden worsening or loss of senses. When we mean loss of senses, the person starts to lose, the sense to hearing, sense to vision, sense to taste, sense to smell. These are all signs that can come up as soon as a person wants to or is about to calm down with a stroke. So research also shows that there are a lot of things that can be looked out for, like physically. For instance, number one on the list, you have B, balance. It has to do with balance. Ask the person to try to stand. Once you notice that, this person something is wrong, tell the person to try to stand and look, to check if they are having trouble standing on their feet. Then you know that something is wrong. And then ask them if they can see you clearly. Because when stroke is about to set in, the person starts to have this blurry vision. All of a sudden, they can't see what is in front of them. They start to see double. That's what we call it now. They start to have blurry vision. Ask the person to try to smile at you. Look for what we call drooping on a part of the person's face. Like I said, when I gave that example, that person told me that the moment he had that attack, his face, it was more like his face shifted to one corner. That is also called drooping, or face, face drooping. All of a sudden, your one part of your face will just move to the other side. And then ask them to try to raise their arms. And then try to look and see if that arm they are trying to, raise is just drooping. All of a sudden, it cannot go beyond a particular part. Then you know that something is wrong. Tell them to try to speak to you. And if they're trying to speak, listen for slurred speech. When they have trouble, saying certain things, just know that they're already having slurred speech. It is a sign. And then look out for emergency help. Very important. In fact, the slogan for stroke should be act fast. If you do not act at that very time, anything you see, you take it. Fast, F-A-S-T. F is for facial weakness, sudden numbness or weakness in the face. A is for arm weakness, like I said. S is for speech difficulty. And then T, the last T, has to do with time for you to call emergency services. So please, when you see any of these signs, as fast as you can, reach out for help. Scream for help. Go to the hospital. Just do something so that person does not come down with permanent disability. I don't know if you have more to add for your end.
Yes. Based on what the last caller said, we're talking about the different types of diseases that led her parents to stroke. I also have a couple here. One is obesity. Obesity can lead to stroke. That's excess weight increases risks of hypertension, diabetes, and atherosclerosis.
Okay.
They also have high cholesterol. That's elevated LDL. Cholesterol can contribute to atherosclerosis. That is also one of the causes of stroke. And how can it be treated? We have rehabilitation, like she said. Our mom went to physiotherapy, and that really helped. So rehabilitation, that's physical, occupational, and speech therapies can aid recovery. Occupational therapy is like you handling things with your hand, making sure that you can use part of your body. Physical therapy, speech therapy, and the rest. And it takes a lot of time for someone to recover. So make sure that those who are around you, that anybody that has it, like you're very patient with them, because it takes a lot of time.
Okay. And we have a message on Facebook from John Johnson. He says, good presentation, beautiful ladies in the studio. How are you guys doing? I'm learning a lot from the topic. Okay, thank you so much. For the other part of your message, it will be responded to very soon. Thank you for your message. Okay, so we have few minutes left, and to answer to what Kachisin asked a very important question. Which treatment option is better? Which treatment option is best for someone who has just had a stroke? Very, very important question. I've heard people say, oh, most of these things cannot be treated in the hospital. Just go do the traditional massage and you'll be better. Well, no problem. However, there are so many things that go on in the hospital that do not happen in those massage homes. Trust me. Massage homes do not have some of those equipments. When you go for your therapy, I know that you'll be made to undergo scans to check your progress. Do they have those in the massage homes? No. Anybody can come and tell you, I'm a masseur, I can massage you, and you see this part of your body that is paralyzed, it will come back to life. And they go and press your rib and break one thing there and cause more harm for you. I'm not saying you shouldn't do what you want to do, or you shouldn't go for what you can afford. However, your first point of call should be the hospital, in all honesty, because you're going to undergo series and series of scans and tests for them to really know if that stroke has affected any other part of your body. And then for people who do not know, for instance, that they have hypertension, all of a sudden they come down with stroke, it might also be discovered in the hospital. You cannot get these things in a massage home or in a traditional setting. Kachisin, I hope that answers your question. I would always recommend anytime, any day, the first place for you to go to should be the hospital. And yes, let it now be that the doctor says, oh, we have tried our best. Or you go and see, a massager or what they call a masseur.
Masseuse.
Yes, or masseuse. Go there and see them. That is what I can say right now. Okay, so treatment, yes. when you go for this treatment, you will be asked a lot of questions. How much the stroke has damaged your brain, they would have to assess you for that. What area of your brain has been affected, they will assess you for that. And then the type of stroke has got different types. Unfortunately, we might not be able to touch on all the types of stroke. Like I said, an expert will come do justice to that very soon. Okay, so when you go for this stroke rehabilitation, you'll be made to undergo a lot of rehab, like cognitive rehab, that will help you improve your memory. Like I said, some of these people that come down with stroke lose their memory at some point. So when you go for cognitive rehabilitation, it will help restore your memory. It will also help, with your concentration and mental abilities. There is also what we call occupational therapy, physical therapy. This has to do with physiotherapists now coming in, trying to strengthen the muscles in your body and help you improve your balance so that you can now regain the use of your arms and legs. There is also speech therapy. Just in case that stroke impacts on your speech at that time, you'll be made to undergo speech therapy to regain and improve your language and speaking abilities. That is what speech therapy can do for you. So, yes, talk to a doctor, consider therapy, join a support group, especially if you're already getting some treatment and you need people who can support you. If you don't have family members who are close to you, there are also survivors of stroke. Try to reach out to them and be in their space. It will help you get a lot more better. Do not ignore some of those symptoms that we talked about. And yes, for the myths around stroke, people have said that the symptoms will, if the symptoms of stroke go away that very first time, you don't need to see a doctor. That is not true. The moment you see those symptoms, like I said, act fast as you can. Go see a doctor. And then some other people have said there's no treatment for stroke, that once stroke comes to you, that is the end, and in fact your life don't end. It's not true. It is not true. The fact shows that stroke can be treated if it is caught early. That is why early intervention is key. I will stop there. And then some people say that it's all hospitals that can handle stroke. Yes, I know we have hospitals everywhere, but there's something we call specialists. Don't just walk into any clinic because you feel it's a clinic and it's a hospital and they'll help you. No, go to specialists. Even when you walk into those clinics, they might want to now refer you to those specialists who are, very good when it comes to issues of stroke. So, like we said, stroke can impact you mentally. It can cause a lot of things: depression, anxiety, and so on and so forth. We're about going, Best Beauty.
Well, we've said everything there is to say, honestly. I don't think there's any basic parts we have not touched, because like we said, it's the experts that will be able to break this thing down deeper for you to understand. But for the basic part, I think we've touched everything. The only thing I can say to the listeners is that just be patient. Be patient with your relatives. Be patient with yourself if you are going through stroke. Be patient with yourself, because yes, you're going through a lot, but you putting all those, carrying all those weights, it's not going to help your recovery process. So you have to be patient with yourself.
Yeah, be patient with yourselves. Family members, be patient with your relations who have got stroke. It is not an easy phase. Trust me when I tell you that when you're sick, you have malaria, you know how you feel. Not to talk of someone who can all of a sudden not move one part of their body. That is the worst thing that can happen to anybody. For survivors, we love you so much. We see you and we know the struggle you're undergoing. Please do not give up, okay? Keep hope alive, and someday you'll be back on your feet. And then someone asked the question, can someone who's already paralyzed come down with stroke? I would want to beg you, Eze, that will be best answered by an expert. And trust me, by next week, we'll have an expert who will help us understand this better and then answer that particular question. We have to go. My name is Mary Omeni Wode, the Slim Diva, your most adorable.
And my name is Best Beauty.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, J Boy. In 2 minutes, we'll bring you the news. Don't go anywhere.
Every time that you get undressed, I hear symphony.
those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How you can suspend me here? Are we your slaves?
And I'm going to win this election.
That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo,
people, this is not story time on Top Echo
and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People. It's the news at noon on Echo FM 100.7.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Global News right here on Echo FM 100.7, the station with fair and balanced reporting. My name is Mary Omeni Wode, bringing you the latest news and breaking stories around the world this afternoon. Here are the headlines. Proposal for general elections in November 2026 raises fresh controversies. Federal government screens 170 foreigners seeking Nigerian citizenship. Gas marketers target 6 million tons LPG supply, predict price drop. On the foreign scene, Trump rules out third-term bid, cites constitutional limits. And Xi and Trump to hold strategic talks in South Korea amid global tensions. In sports news, Lookman keen to hit top form for Atlanta. Details shortly. And we start off with national stories that says the proposal by the National Assembly to shift Nigeria's general elections to November 2026 has generated widespread debate across political circles. Lawmakers are suggesting that elections be held 6 months before the end of an administration's tenure, deviating from the usual February to March schedule to allow more time for resolving election petitions. However, the African Democratic Congress ADC has rejected the idea, warning that the move could weaken governance and distract political leaders from delivering on their mandates. The party's interim National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi argued that an early election season would place the country in a perpetual campaign mood, undermining developmental efforts. While the proposed bill seeks to enhance electoral justice, critics insist that it could cause greater political instability. They therefore argue that Nigerians expect governance beyond electioneering and that the focus should remain on service delivery rather than prolonged campaigns. The federal government has commenced the screening of 170 foreigners applying for Nigerian citizenship. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji Ojo disclosed this in Abuja during a review session of the Advisory Committee on Nigerian Citizenship, emphasizing that citizenship remains a privilege for individuals of proven integrity and moral standing. Tunji Ojo stated that the review process involves representatives from the Ministries of Justice and Foreign Affairs, the Department of State Services, and the Nigerian Immigration Service. He explained that the government is committed to maintaining strict standards in assessing eligibility for citizenship and naturalization. The minister further urged the committee to ensure that only credible and law-abiding individuals are recommended, noting that Nigeria will not condone attempts to secure citizenship through fraudulent or illegal means. He affirmed the administration's resolve to promote legal migration and strengthen national security through proper vetting. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Joash Amupitan San, has issued a stern warning against vote buying ahead of the November 8th governorship election in Anambra State. He assured that INEC is fully prepared to conduct a free, fair, and credible election. Amiputan disclosed that the commission will work closely with security and anti-graft agencies to curb voter inducement and electoral malpractice. He also noted that INEC has addressed network hitches encountered during the mock accreditation exercise held last weekend to ensure smooth operations on election day. According to him, about 24,000 INEC personnel will be deployed across 5,718 polling units, with results collated through 326 ward centers and 21 local government areas before arriving at the State Collation Center in Oka. He added that the collection of permanent voters' cards has been extended to November 2 to ensure broader voter participation. Nigeria's Nobel Prize-winning author Wole Soyinka revealed that the United States has revoked his non-immigrant visa issued last year and that he has been informed he must reapply should he wish to visit the United States again. The 91-year-old writer had torn up his U.S. green card and renounced his American residency in 2016 in protest of the election of President Donald Trump. The Nobel laureate has held regular teaching appointments at American Ivy League University since the mid-1990s, following his Nobel Prize for Literature in 1986. Meanwhile, in July, the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria announced that Nigerians applying for non-immigrant visas would now receive single-entry 3-month permits, rolling back the previous policy that had allowed multiple entries for up to 5-year visas. And in Lagos State, the Customs Area Controller Apapa Command, Emmanuel Oshoba, says the command will work closely with the Port Police Command to resolve the lingering Apapa gridlock. Oshoba revealed this when he hosted the newly posted Commissioner for Police Port Authority Command, Toyin Abaminoja, in Lagos. He explained that the congestion has worsened due to glitches in the Nigerian Port Authority e-collop system, affecting cargo movement and revenue generation. The customs boss urged the police to prioritize restoring order around access roads to enhance trade facilitation and port efficiency. Over to the northern part of the country, the Bauchi State Police Command has arrested 2 suspected armed robbers accused of carrying out multiple house breaking and robbery operations across the state capital. The arrests, according to the command spokesman CSP Ahmed Wakil, were made as part of efforts to combat crime and protect lives and property. Wakil revealed that the case has been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further interrogation and prosecution. He added that the operation followed actionable intelligence and community collaboration, which helped the police trace the suspects. The Commissioner of Police, CP Sani Omolori Aliyu, commended residents for their cooperation and urged them to remain vigilant and law-abiding. He reiterated the command's commitment to tackling insecurity through intelligence-driven policing and community partnership. It's exactly 10 minutes past noon. If you just tune in, you are listening to the Global News right here on Echo FM 100.7. Let's take a look at the stories once again. Proposal for general elections in November 2026 raises fresh controversies. Federal government screens 170 foreigners seeking Nigerian citizenship. Gas marketers target 6 million tons LPG supply and predict price drop. On the foreign scene, Trump rules out third-term bid, cites constitutional limits, and Xi and Trump to hold strategic talks in South Korea amid global tensions. On sports news, Lookman is keen to hitting top form from Atalanta. We'll bring you more details after this timeout. Don't go anywhere.
The United Nations Environment Programme in 2019 fungi and parasites no longer respond to antimicrobial medicines, thereby making it difficult to treat infections, increasing the risk of disease spread and death. Together, we can eliminate antimicrobial resistance by working closely with a healthcare provider to discuss symptoms and decide on the appropriate medicine to treat any illness. Do not abuse antibiotics. Do not save old prescription drugs for use at a later time. Never take another person's prescription medication or share yours with them. Above all, do not self-medicate.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, it's still the global news right here on Echo FM 100.7. Over now to the rest of the stories. In business news this afternoon, liquefied petroleum gas marketers have unveiled plans to boost Nigeria's annual LPG supply to 6 million metric tons within the next few years to promote cleaner energy adoption. Outgoing President Oladapo Olatubosun disclosed this while reviewing the sector's performance and outlining future targets. He revealed that national LPG consumption has grown from about 900,000 metric tons in 2020 to over 2 million metric tons in 2024, driven by increased investment, improved public awareness, and stronger collaboration between government agencies and private operators. Olatubosun expressed optimism that with consistent policy support and private sector participation, the 6 million ton target is achievable. He noted that the success of the National Gas Expansion Program and the Decade of Gas Initiative has provided a solid foundation for sustainable energy growth in Nigeria. Meanwhile, on the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly ruled out the possibility of running for a third term, citing the constitutional two-term limit. He made the statement after renewed speculations among his supporters about a potential 2028 bid, which he described as not allowed. Trump, who previously served from 2017 to 2021, said some loyalists had encouraged him to seek another term, despite clear constitutional restrictions. He clarified that while he appreciates their support, his focus remains on national unity and completing his current tenure successfully. And still on the foreign scene this afternoon, Chinese President Xi Jinping and U.S. President Donald Trump are set to meet on Thursday in South Korea for high-level strategic talks aimed at easing tensions and rebuilding strained communication channels between Beijing and Washington. The Chinese Foreign Ministry confirmed the meeting, saying both leaders will discuss long-term and strategic issues concerning bilateral relations and global stability. Spokesperson Guo Jiakun told reporters that China is ready to work with the United States to achieve positive outcomes and inject new momentum into China-U.S. relations. The talks come amid ongoing disputes over trade, technology, and regional security in the Asia-Pacific region particularly concerning Taiwan and the South China Sea. And finally, on sports news this afternoon, Super Eagles forward Ademola Lookman has expressed determination to rediscover his top form after scoring in Atalanta's 1-1 draw with AC Milan on Tuesday night. The goal marked his first of the season for the Italian club. Lookman, who missed pre-season amid transfer speculations linking him to Inter Milan, admitted that his rhythm was affected but promised steady improvement as the season progresses. He described the goal as a step in the right direction towards regaining consistency. The former Leicester City winger said he remains focused on helping Atalanta achieve their targets in the Serie A campaign, stressing that with more playing time, he will get there eventually. His performance has drawn praise from both fans and club officials. And that's all for the global news this afternoon, as was put together by Benjamin Joseph. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms on Facebook at Echo FM, X at Echo FM_ORA, Instagram at Echo FM 100.7, and YouTube at Echo FM 100.7. You can also listen live wherever you are in the world. Just log on to www.echofm.net. That is www.echofm.net. My name is Mary Omeni Wode. Thank you so much for listening. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
It's the sound of the city. Echo 100.7.
Are you a business owner looking to reach a wider audience? Do you want to promote your products or services to thousands of listeners? Look no further. Echo FM 100.7 offers a unique opportunity to advertise your business to a targeted and engaged audience. If interested in advertising to Echo FM, please call 0707 491 3440, 0707 491 3440 to speak with our representative. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to grow your business and reach new customers. Call us now on 0707 491 3440. Thank you for listening.